Breaking news, there is no place for Jadon Sancho as England manager Gareth Southgate names his squad for the World Cup qualifiers with Albania and San Marino. Hi there, good afternoon. Welcome to Sky Sports News. Let's bring you that breaking news then. England manager Gareth Southgate has recalled Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jude Bellingham and Marcus Rashford to his squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Albania and San Marino. I'm going to run you through the full squad now. A big line in terms of the goalkeepers, because Aaron Ramsdale, who has been in brilliant form for Arsenal, he has got a call-up. He joins Sam Johnstone and Jordan Pickford, the three goalkeepers in the squad. In terms of defenders, I mentioned that Trent Alexander-Arnold returns after he was out injured in the last international break. Harry Maguire, he's back as well. Ben Chilwell, Conor, Coady, Reece James, Tyrone, Mings, Luke Shaw, Johnstone, Kyle Walker. In terms of midfielders, Jude Bellingham, then the Borussia Dortmund midfielder, he is back in the squad. Kalvin Phillips back as well. Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, James Ward-Prowse. And in terms of forwards, Tammy Abraham, who has been playing incredibly well over in Italy, he is in the squad. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford returns after being out injured. He hasn't featured, of course, for England since the Euro final. Bukayo Saka and Raheem Sterling. Confirmation as well. There is no Jadon Sancho. There is no Jesse Lingard as well, whose sort of rejuvenation has maybe been stunted a little bit, not playing for Manchester United regularly. And no Kieran Trippier as well. England, of course, they're unbeaten at the moment on the road to Qatar, but they have drawn two of their last three Group I matches. So it means really they've only got a 3-point cushion with 2 games to go now. So I said Albania and San Marino. England host Albania at Wembley. That's next Friday before rounding off qualification with a trip to San Marino, and if they are, of course, the lowest ranked side in world football. And it's interesting because we thought there might be some first call-ups. There's no Emile Smith-Rowe. Some thought there might be. He's been playing incredibly well for Arsenal. No Conor Gallagher either, who's been brilliant for Crystal Palace, but Aaron Ramsdale is in. We heard Mark Bosnich on Sky Sports News earlier this week saying he could be England's #1 at some point, and he has been playing so well for Arsenal. Brilliant on Sunday again, and has probably proved a lot of people wrong, because there are a lot of critics when Arsenal signed him in the summer from Sheffield United for up to, what, £30 million now. Arsenal yet to lose a game with him coming in. They've conceded just 4 times in 8 games. So, look, we're going to hear from Gareth Southgate very shortly. But just a word now. We are going to hear from Gareth Southgate, I've been told. Let's hear from the England manager now.
Harvey, when you're ready, if you want to get us underway.
Thank you, Gareth. Lots of players in, lots of players out. How difficult was it to pick this squad?
Well, always difficult, Carve, because we've got so much competition for places, and we had quite a few players missing last time, which means you bring others in, and so then you've got more decisions to make. Also, some young players who are playing well, that haven't quite made the squad. So we've kept a reasonable amount of consistency, really, with the group that were with us in the summer. They did so well. We're only 5 international games on from that. But also there are players pushing that group really strongly.
You mentioned there were some young players who are playing really well who haven't quite made it. How close was Emile Smith-Rowe, for instance, to making this squad?
Yeah, I think Emile, Conor Gallagher, Mark Gui in particular, are all playing very well with their clubs. But we've got depth, and to put those in, we've got to leave some of these on the sheet out. And I think it's not a bad thing that we're starting to get a very strong under-21 team, because you want that depth. We fast-tracked lots of young players very quickly, and the majority of them are still in this squad now, and a lot of them played a big part in the Euros. But also we've had some that have come up, and then when you put them back with the under-21s, that's a lot more complicated. So we want to get the timing of that right. I think the boys that I've just mentioned there are on a really good path. We like them. We get a good chance to see them with the under-21s as well as with their club. And but at the moment, we think a little bit early for some of those guys to come in. We could put them in, and they would be absolutely fine, by the way. But we think the players we've picked are just a little bit ahead at the moment.
Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold is back in the squad. He played so well last night for Liverpool again. You've got so many right backs. What does Trent need to do to become the England right back? Because a lot of people think that he should be an automatic starter.
Well, as you say, we've got fantastic competition for places there, because Kyle was in the team of the tournament for the Euros. Kieran Trippier, who we haven't selected this time, to give a bit of an opportunity to Reece and to Trent. But Kieran has always performed brilliantly for us, has been a huge part of us getting to a World Cup semi-final and a European Championship final, and is a player that we have so much respect for. And I'm sure will be back with us in the future. But Reece and Trent are performing at a really high level. I also think Tino Livramento, when I'm talking about young players, has had an excellent start to the season. You've got Tariq Lamptey, you've got Max Aarons. We lost Cash to Poland, who's another good young right back. It's an area of the team where we've got a lot of competition for places, some very good players. So they have to defend well, first and foremost. The bedrock of our team, we've conceded 5 goals in, I think, 18 matches. So defensively, we've not been doing a lot wrong. And in my opinion, that is the first job of a defender. You've got to defend well. If then we've got good quality with the ball as well, and we can create chances, then that's an added bonus. And of course, the players that we've got in the squad in full-back positions can do both those things. So it's about delivering that on a consistent basis, and doing that in the international team as you step up.
Just looking at the squad as well, there's 3 Manchester United players missing. Jadon Sancho, Jesse Lingard and Mason Greenwood. Can you just talk us through why they're not in the squad this time round?
Well, I think Mason discussed the situation last time, so we've been through that. With Jesse and with Jadon, I mean, they just aren't playing a lot of football compared to the other players in their positions. I know people say I'm inconsistent, but I don't think I am. If you're playing regularly for your club, you've got a much better chance of us assessing your level compared to the rest of the group. And sometimes there'll be a lot of depth in one position, and there might not be as much depth in another position, and the player that is in the position with less depth might have a better chance of getting in with less club time. With these 2 lads, they've got great competition for places in the positions they play, and Jesse has had 10-15 minutes. I don't know what his form is, what his fitness is really, to be able to assess him against the rest of the group. So both of those boys, when I spoke with them, totally understood that. They get it. They know that at the moment they've got to get playing for their clubs and playing well, and then England is a bonus on the top. But they're both players that have done well for us, and I'm sure they'll be back with us.
I'll just ask you as well about Aaron Ramsdale. He's been in such fantastic form for Arsenal this season. How close do you think he is to becoming the England number 1?
Well, firstly, it's great for him. He's now been in, this is the 3rd squad he's been in. He had the summer with us. We were impressed with what he did in the summer. And he started very well with Arsenal. That's, at this stage of the season, still quite a small sample of games, but we're really pleased with what he's doing and the way he's playing, and his distribution with his feet is a particular bonus of the way that they play at Arsenal and the skill set that he's got. So I think there's a fight on. We've got competition for places, and we need competition for places in every position. And Aaron and Sam are definitely providing that to Jordan.
Just regarding your contract situation as well, I think the last time we spoke to you, you said you were going to sit down and talk with the FA in a couple of weeks or so. And you've also said that you don't really want to discuss your contract until England have definitely qualified for the World Cup in Qatar. But I was just wondering, when you sit down to talk with the FA, will you be talking about the nuts and bolts of the contract, or will it be a discussion about whether you want to carry on being the England manager after the Qatar World Cup because you may want to go back to club management?
Well, with the greatest respect, Garvey, what I discuss with the FA about my contract is nobody's business but me and the FA. So, as I said, the only thing that I will absolutely share is that I think we've got to nail qualification before we sit down and have those conversations in real depth, because I think the focus has got to be to get the points we need to qualify, to get the team to the World Cup finals, and then there's plenty of time to talk those things through.
And just the final one from me. A couple of weeks ago, UEFA announced that England would have to play their next UEFA game at Wembley behind closed doors. I just wanted to see what your reaction was to that ban. And obviously, do you have any sort of personal recollections of what happened that day? I know obviously you were very, very busy with what was going on in the pitch, but we've heard from some of the players who've said that their families were affected by what happened outside and inside the ground. And I just wonder if you shared any of those experiences as well.
No, I'm aware of lots of people who were at the game who've explained to me what was happening outside and inside. We understand the decision, and we're totally respectful of the decision. So it's, for us as a team, of course, a blow that we have to play with no fans in the stadium for a game, because that's the advantage of being at home. That's why home advantage is so important. But we've got to get on with that. That's the decision that's been made, and we're totally respectful of it.